Good day, good night, all. Welcome back. Shalom. Assalamu alaikum. Ni hao. All of the universal greetings, if I can get my damn teeth in my mouth. It's been a long time, man. It's been a long time. I got the Supreme team with me, and I'm very much looking forward to an edutaining build from a noon science perspective. Actually, no, let's go Tar. Tar, brief introduction, please, sibling. Welcome to the broadcast. Glad to have you back on here. Brief introduction. We'll do a newt and we'll go straight into the bill, sibling.
All right, true peace, and I'm glad to be here. I am Tarkino Nupu, and I am a proud African kinky head Ethiopian, as well as a Nunibu, which means basically in universal science, meaning a cloud nine. And we know that cloud nine is a term used in America as the highest state of being. Some people just say as mental being in a good space, and but it also represents the highest gases and combination of gases in nature. So it's not something that was just created in the form of just for fun and entertainment or rest and relaxation. It's a serious title, which we did videos on that. If you go back in my live section, where actually the term Nunavut actually goes back to ancient Kemet, and that we just wanted that to be known. So I want to say thank you to the people in the US and in the UK and the audience that's been holding on to these shows. And I just want to say thank you for allowing me to come back. True peace.
Honest, sibling, man. Honest. That's what it's about, man. Each one teach 12, and we ain't no jealous kings. Just keeping them jewels up on there, up and into the crown and thing. We have to allow those jewels to be propagated so we can uplift fallen humanity.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we are charged with. This is why we are cut from the cloth, indeed, in which we are cut from. I'm really, really looking forward to this build, man, as I always am. Anut, welcome. What do you do, sibling?
True peace, true peace. Yes, true peace, all kins. I am a Nup Bunu Nupu. I'm also a proud member of the African race, also known as the Ethiopian race. I'm also a proud member in a Nunibu, as Tar just explained, which represents the highest mentality that there is currently on planet Earth, as the forces and the frequencies are raising their vibrations to the highest level possible, whether that be for positive or negative, because everything in nature serves its purpose, whether it be for positive or negative. There's no in between. So those that are out there that is listening to the broadcast, there's no such thing as staying neutral. When you stay neutral, you allow the forces around you to kind of make the decision for you. So if we're in a negative state of being, if you're staying neutral, then that means that negativity will begin to flourish on and around you unless you do something about it. The same thing as if the frequencies are moving in the positive, then that means that if you stay neutral, then things going on and around you will also move for the positive. But at the same time, it's onto the beholder. And what I mean by that, the person that holds the information to and knows the knowledge and things of that, to also promote and promulgate it, because your existence literally depends on it. And through this particular broadcast, we're going to see and also explain certain things that relate to that, what I'm saying right now. So true peace again to the sibling for having us on again. It's always a pleasure to speak to the people of the UK and those that are around the world who are also listening to this broadcast. So once again, thank you. True peace.
Honors again, siblings. Honors again. I thought we would mix this in. I know you've got some information to present per se, But you know how we do. We have a conversation and thing. And I would like to kind of tie into, I mean, there's so much going on. We are in the Gregorian, this is the first build we are doing in the Gregorian year of 2026. Pre-2026, as we normally do our live streams on a Saturday on Patreon. I did say to the siblings, pardon yourself?
No, I said okay.
I did say to the siblings then that buckle up, 2026 is going to be a very, very tumultuous year. Hella tumultuous. I had in my mind more regarding world events, currency, financial bits and pieces. I didn't expect 2026 to start off how it started off. So let's fast forward a little something. We've had some crazy dips within the stock market manipulated. We had the Bitcoin thing manipulated, and certain powers that should have never been have taken full advantage of that there and made some very nice millions off the back of dropping down the stock market. We're in exactly the same process, and this is due directly from what is presented in the Shame Street media is the president, El Presidente of, indeed, the wilderness of North America, Trumpavelli, the Gemini Dom himself, the orange pervert. He's doing some madness. Yes, siblings, the orange pervert. He's dropping bombs and thing. He's doing this. He's trying to align with them people, trying to fulfill some kind of strange, odd biblical prophecy with Persia and Israel, aka Canaan, and all that business. Can you gentlemen, please, the siblings, can you kind of unpack a little bit of that, and what you make of this nonsense that's transpiring?
It's ironic that you mentioned that prophecy thing, because this is something we've been kind of honing in as far as this whole prophecy thing is concerned. So the first thing I'm gonna do real quick before Tar jumps into what he's got going on, I'm gonna share a thumbnail. This is a thumbnail that I orchestrated through the ChatGPT to create for a class that I did I want to say about a week ago on the Strait of Hormuz, right? So you were mentioning Trump dropping bombs, things taking place in the world, and how this may look like a prophecy, right? But if you see in the middle of under where I said the Strait of Hormuz, the artery of the earth is under pressure, right? What do you see right there? It says the book of Revelation is not prophecy. It's a playbook. So what the powers that be did was they had to use the Bible and religion as a spell in order to keep the minds of the people off of what they are trying to do or trying to orchestrate, right? And our ancestors knew that, right? There's thousands and thousands. I think the ancient Egyptian literature is well over 100,000 copies all over the world. All right, like that's a lot of things that were written down that most people are ignorant about, right? And they warned us of these times that will come where the mentality of the people will fall so low, right, that they will start looking at prophecy as if it's something divine, because those that have the technology and the stronghold on information, they will make it look like it's prophecy, but it's really not prophecy. So I'm going to explain this thumbnail real quick, right? So you see the two beasts right here, right? So you got America with Israel tied to one beast, and then you have Iran with bricks on top of Iran as another beast, right? And they're pulling on the vein of this particular black woman right here, which represents the planet Earth, right? And what's ironic about this particular place called the Strait of Hormuz, the Strait of Hormuz is actually the neck of the planet, right? So the reason why I say that is because the planet is an organism just like myself and yourself. Inside of your body, you also have microorganisms as well. But what people don't speak about is the macroorganism. You always hear about microorganisms, right? But you never hear about macroorganisms, right? So the macroorganisms happens to be the planets, the stars, the universes, and just nature in general. Those are the macroorganisms. But we are inside of one of those macroorganisms, which happens to be the planet Earth, right? And the planet Earth has different body parts to help it function in the way that it's supposed to function, right? And one of the things that I explained in the class was that the oil of the planet is also the blood and the life force of the planet, right? So all of planet Earth's natural resources and oil especially is part of her blood. So some of that blood is also comes from fossil fuels, right? Which was the decomposition of old animals.
Yeah. Can I jump in there?
Yeah, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Just on that point you're making there, I believe me and Tar discussed this a couple of builds back. Mm-hmm. The crazy space monkey scientists have come out, I would say at least 5, maybe even 6, 7 years ago to say that it was a lie. We were mistaken. There's no such thing as fossil fuel, as you alluded to. What the Europeans would denote Gaia, Mother Earth. She produces that. There's no plant life from dinosaurs, aka dragons, that have been squashed down over a millennia to create oil, but do continue to produce it.
Yeah. So yes, and that's partially true as well. You know, that's definitely partially true, because the one of the things that the Caucasian loves to do is also try to steer us in the wrong direction to make us, you know, think that that things aren't the way it is. So they'll always tell half truths.
In summer 1997, a full-page ad appeared in the New York Times. The message from the Global Climate Coalition issued a dire economic warning about the US embracing the Kyoto Protocol, a treaty to curb greenhouse gas emissions. But beneath the veneer of smiling children was something much more insidious, a multi-million-dollar campaign propped up by questionable data and backed by some of the world's most powerful companies. The Global Climate Coalition was itself a front for the oil industry, established to sow doubt and confusion about climate action. But the real story starts decades earlier. In the 1970s, oil companies employed some of the world's top atmospheric scientists, as they needed to understand weather-related risks to their equipment and to assess the environmental impact of new projects. By the late 1970s, these scientists, along with their counterparts in academia, had concluded that burning fossil fuels created a buildup of atmospheric carbon, which would impact the climate by trapping heat and increasing surface temperatures. They warned that an increase of even a few degrees could be catastrophic, and accurately predicted events such as rapid Arctic warming and the melting of Antarctic ice sheets. Throughout the 1980s, oil industry reps met repeatedly to discuss these dangers, acknowledging the risk that their product posed to the future of humanity. However, instead of warning the public or using this knowledge to pivot towards renewable energy sources, they doubled down on oil. But in the late 1980s, scientists sounded the alarm about climate change, raising public awareness and leading to calls for government action. In response, the oil industry launched what would become a decades-long, multi-billion-dollar PR campaign to discredit the very science they helped pioneer. They utilized the same PR firms that had previously helped the tobacco industry mislead the public about the harms of smoking, oil companies directly lobbied government officials and covertly funded dozens of organizations like the Global Climate Coalition, whose objective was to obscure the scientific consensus on climate change and humanity's role in creating it. They attacked credible scientists and bankrolled advertisements disguised as op-eds, which falsely exaggerated the degree and significance of uncertainty in climate models and used that uncertainty as an excuse to dismiss the science entirely. These advertorials grabbed readers' attention with titles like Lies They Tell Our Children and Unsettled Science. The industry also capitalized on lingering Cold War anxieties that equated government regulation with socialism. Thus, at the very moment the world was poised to act, oil companies shifted the conversation away from the actual science and turned it into a debate about protecting freedom. By doing so, they took a non-partisan, uncontentious topic and transformed it into a hot-button political issue. After George W. Bush became president in 2001, oil lobbyists successfully pushed his administration to replace officials who agreed with mainstream science with ones who opposed environmental regulations. When Bush pushed the US out of the Kyoto Protocol, his administration credited the Global Climate Coalition with influence in his decision. But the oil industry's PR campaigns didn't end with their Kyoto victory. They've continued to shape the climate conversation, pushing propaganda and co-opting climate language. British Petroleum, for example, popularized the phrase carbon footprint, an idea which in practice effectively shifts climate responsibility from the industry to the consumer. To this day, the industry massively overemphasizes their investment in green energies, such as biofuels, which represent just 1% of their budgets, and they employ legions of lobbyists who attend UN climate meetings and work to water down the language of IPCC climate assessment reports. In this, they're allied with oil-producing countries, which also have a vested interest in continued fossil fuel use. While the oil companies now acknowledge that burning fossil fuels contributes to climate change, they deny having misled the public, arguing that their messaging always reflected the scientific consensus, but an extensive paper trail shows otherwise. While oil companies' profits reach all-time highs, climate change costs the public billions of dollars each year. Extreme weather events and decreasing air quality kill millions of people annually. Meanwhile, the culture of doubt the oil industry created remains widespread, polarizing the issue and delaying meaningful action. But it doesn't have to be this way. We can still reclaim the conversation and change course, embracing renewable energies and sustainable practices to protect both our planet and our future.
Right? But like I was saying, the oil is it's like almost like a manufacturing process, right? So that's how you get olive oil, or that's how you get avocado oil, right? Because it has to go through a heating process, right, and break it down into what we would know as oil. Same thing with all the organic material that goes down into the planet has to go through a heating process, right? And then it would be in a reservoir of oil. And that reservoir of oil, the same way like blood in the body, right? So when you eat food, right, it's not blood that you're eating, right? It's organic food that you're eating, and inside of the body, it processes it and makes, new red blood cells and white blood cells or platelets, whatever the case may be, right? So it's the breaking down of so the planet does essentially the same thing that our human body does, right? So that's one of the main things that people should understand, is that the human body and Earth's body is simultaneously the same. As a matter of fact, we are connected to the Earth in more ways than one. One, the Earth is roughly 72% water. Our bodies are roughly 72% water. So this is one of the core factors that we show that, okay, there's a connection between the planet and us, right? So these beasts that are pulling on this vein of the planet, right, is going to affect the consciousness of the planet. And this is Nature Book 1, written by Afro Unu, okay? Listen to reason. And finally, some people might ask, how could we know that we are all at rock bottom? Point 3 south, see figure 6 in part 2 of this book, of the order circle and the end of evolution. The answer is thus: because of the presence and rule of Ghost God, the Caucasian race, and religion, plus the fact that mankind now possesses the capacity to destroy planet Earth with their high technology and nuclear energy, and possibly destroy the universe too by chain reaction. In addition, mankind is destroying Mother Earth inside and out by draining Goddess Earth of her oil and other natural resources needed to keep Mother Earth balanced and vivacious, and thereby we on planet Earth are now approaching the danger point of natural cataclysms, catastrophes, and other natural artificial tragedies, and so-called flying saucers or unidentified flying objects, or UFOs, sometimes seen in the atmosphere of planet Earth by various persons, plus other unusual phenomenons, are signs of the time. Change from one major cycle, the evolutionary cycle, to another, the revolutionary cycle, and the handwriting on the wall warning us all of impending balancing of persons and things by the laws of nature. Let it be remembered always, and let it be known. Right? And even in that same paragraph right there, Afro Unu said the handwriting is on the wall. That handwriting happens to be the Meta Neter that he's talking about. That's why he put it in bold words, right? You see it right here. The handwriting on the wall, warning us of impending balancing of persons and things by the laws of nature. Why do you think he put that in bold words? Because he knew he was talking about the Meta Neter, because our ancestors warned us of these activities. Okay, so I just want y'all to know that that's what that was pertaining to. Okay, because we have to understand that the planet itself is also an organism the same way we are organisms. It has a heart, it has a brain, it has lungs, it has various parts to it the same way. It has a vagina as well, because the planet is a female. It has rather 2 vaginas, okay, one in Africa and one in the Pacific Ocean, okay? And it's very important for us to know this, because if you don't know that these people are destroying your mother, it's a problem. They are disrespecting our mother by draining our mother of her natural resources. And as I read in the nature books earlier, it's causing her to be unbalanced. That's why some of us who live in the Northeast are experiencing extreme weather patterns. One day it's 70, next day it's 30 degrees. One day it's going back and forth. It's fluctuating, and this is because of the inner earth activities that's taking place, as well as the mental activities that's taking place, as well as the fact that we're going from one cycle to the next. So these are the things that are taking place that's causing the planet to go through this. So I'm just teaching you